So in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 ways to get better at running. It's obviously not as simple as that. We're going to try and break it down into some strategies that should help you improve your running, or at least get you on the right tracks to improving your personal best. Within this video, I'm going to talk about it like it's a pyramid. So at the bottom of the pyramid, you have the health, and then you've got the basics, which we're going to cover in this video. And then you have the specifics, and then you have the 1%. And without the health aspect of the pyramid, you can't move on to the basics. And without the basics, you can't move on to the specifics. And without the specifics, you can't move on to the 1%ers. And if you have any more questions, then feel free to comment, and we will make sure that we reply to every single one of them. So the first tip is footwear to improve recovery and avoid injury. Don't think people appreciate how much of a difference a good running shoe can make to injury prevention and recovery. For me, that comes down to cushion and good foam. You've got the likes of Zoom X foam, you've got FF Blast Plus, as some foams what are sort of the next generation of foams which should aid recovery by just providing a bit more cushion and therefore taking some impact off the legs, which I've noticed a drastic change in recovery from sessions and the recovery from easy runs. And specific shoes I would say are the New Balance 1080 V12s and the Nike Invincible. Next is mobility and strength training, and a lot of people often neglect mobility and strength training because it isn't directly running related, and some good mobility exercises are on the screen now which you can copy from Jakob Ingebrigtsen's mobility exercises. So just slow the video down or screen record it and you can save all the exercises. We do actually have a video of just this on our channel, so you can check that out in the description if you do want to see that. Strength provides help when you're fatiguing. As you start to get tired or lactic starts creeping in, generally your running technique worsens. Improving your strength will help reduce the impact of fatigue in terms of how much your form deteriorates. So we have left some useful videos in the description that you can work on different areas of strength training. Thirdly is tempo and threshold training. Tempo and threshold work are sometimes discussed as the same. To differentiate the two, tempo doesn't have a specific effort, and threshold is a specific pace of which the body starts to accumulate lactic acid at a faster rate. Usually this is the pace you can run at for about an hour, but varies depending on your fitness. Tempo running improves your endurance, and threshold has the same benefit, but also aims to improve your threshold, which should mean you're able to go faster before accumulating lactic, which also should mean that you fatigue less at faster paces. Obviously, we've seen the rise of threshold specifically in the Ingebrigtsens, and now many other runners following that training method. It is extremely beneficial for improving performance of any runners, really from 1500 meters and upwards. A good type of threshold session for me would be 1k or 2k repeats off 90 seconds to 2 minutes recovery. The aim is to reach the volume of what is generally a longer workout for you. If you average 8 kilometers in a session, do around 8 to 10 kilometers worth of threshold volume. My favorite tempo session is either just a straight longer tempo, let's say 10 to 15k, or split into 15 minutes, 10 minutes and 5 minutes. Again, aim for the tempo volume for a slightly longer than your usual session, and for a general rule of thumb, I'd say tempo should be at least 5% slower than your threshold. The fourth tip is hills. I did a full video on the benefits of hill training, but in short, they improve running technique and strength. If you aim to incorporate hills maybe once or twice every 1 or 2 weeks, you should see a good improvement in your speed, your strength and your running form, as well as your core stability, because it engages more muscles and you have to work against more of a resistance. So it also helps keep volume lower and reduce the risk of injury to a certain extent, which is why a lot of people tend to do hills when they're coming back from injury, to see the biggest percentage in fitness gain whilst reducing the risk of a reoccurring injury. And finally, this is probably the most commonly known one out of all the 5 tips, and that is the 80-20 rule, and that is that 80% of your running should be at an easy pace and 20% of your running should be at a session pace. And a lot of people fall into the trap of going out for runs, and even if it's classed as an easy run, they generally pick up the paces or just wear some session shoes or race shoes just to go a bit faster. I would suggest wearing some footwear as discussed in the tip 1, which is high cushion and optimizes recovery, and it just generally improves the aerobic side of your running, which takes the longest to build. So it's always good to just include that in your training. So that is our breakdown of the 5 tips to get better at running, and again, this is the basics. So we will be doing hopefully a specifics video and also a 1% video if you do find it interesting. And like I said, comment down below any questions you might have, because I can answer them as well as other people. So thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and goodbye.